The most unprotected person in America is the most disrespected person in America is the black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the black woman.
Hey, what's up, beautiful souls? It's your girl, Safia Ashe Jassi, but you can just call me Fire. I'm a 19-year frontal lobe traumatic brain injury survivor. The frontal lobe is very important for this life, so remember that. And I'm also the cultural architect mogul behind Black Girl Fire. And if you didn't know, I am on a mission to pioneer the world's first neurodivergent focused social media production company to provide economic and exposure opportunities for neurodivergent Black women. And to now, with everything that's coming out in light, is my mission to add additional component to my work is to ensure that I'm providing neurodivergent Black women with the resources and tools to help them live a comfortable and successful life. So, the world is currently witnessing Wendy Williams being exploited by none other than Hollywood media. So it's a great example of how neurodivergent Black women pain is often silenced due to medical racism and exploitation within Hollywood media. And so this situation with Wendy Williams has really reignited like my passion for doing this work, because it a lot has been going on, a lot of ups and downs, but I feel like I'm finally at the place where I really have more control and more awareness in my brain, and it's not so much feeling like a fog, and I don't feel like I'm lost like within my body. I'm feeling like 4 or 5 different people, but I'm really like my true authentic self is come to light. So I'm excited to be in this phase. And so in today live stream, we are going to be talking about a few different like scenarios, but I'm first going to start out with showing a video about Aaron Hernandez, who was a NFL player who had CTE, who later ended his existence while in prison. To really talk about like my connection as like a frontal lobe traumatic brain injury survivor within CTE, to really dive deep on like the different ways people can get a traumatic brain injury. And because there's a lot of different ways, but I'm only going to touch on the aspect of the NFL and CTE, which is chronic traumatic epilepsy. I can't pronounce that word, but I played a video that will pronounce it right. Yes, in that order. But before that, I'm going to play a video of Wendy Williams and like her prime, and then we're going to end it with playing a video of her in her current state from a documentary that she's in, that she's currently being exploited in. And I'm going to talk about how that's reigniting my passion in pioneering the world's first neurodivergent focused social media production company. So let's get right into this goodness, shall we? So hold on. So bear with me, beautiful people.
the matter with them?
Who put that fat rock on your hand?
There is no fat rock.
Nah, the other one. The left one. The left hand.
Anyway.
Trying to twist it off.
Ralph, is it time to go into another break? Is it time? Big up to Brooklyn. Thanks for turning us on. I'm talking about Video Music Box now, even though we are at KISS. This is the studio, everybody, and I just want you to know one thing.
Why don't you show us, like, different things?
Okay. Okay. This is the studio. I can't really show you a whole lot of stuff around here because there's really not a whole lot to show you, but I do have to say that I'm not operating in my usual big chair tonight because otherwise it would take up too much room and then the men wouldn't really have a lot of room to operate around the studio. But I do have to say that I have a lot of fun here at my job. I did go to college. Did you guys go to college?
No, finished.
You finished?
Never.
For a year, you never finished? Oh. Well, it doesn't really matter. I don't think any of us really need college, to do what we're doing. But I did go to college for 4 years because I heard the parties were great, and they were. But I went to Northeastern University in Boston, and a lot of people say that it sounds like I'm having a lot of fun here on the radio, and I am. Because let me tell you something. I sleep every day. Like twice a week, I sleep 12 hours, okay? I do. And then I lay on the couch and I watch Oprah, and I might go out and get my nails done. Look, I have a perfect 10.
So I will come back on the screen. So we need to, because let's be real, Black women are trendsetters. Wendy Williams has laid the foundation and set the blueprint for what we know now as celebrity gossip. She started from radio. She is the blueprint. Even though, yeah, she's messy. But and I think it is like the reason why her situation is receiving so much attention because people remember how she was, like on her show, how bubbly and lively she is, and now they seeing a drastic change in how she is now that she is officially a neurodivergent Black woman, which is kind of similar to my situation when I was in a near-death car accident at the age of 13. And like with me, even though I have short-term memory and my long-term memory was affected, but I always could remember how my life was before the car accident, how my family interacted with me, and then how everything shifted after the car accident and how people treated me and how people interact with me. And I think that was like the hard part because like I constantly had this memory of how my life was before the accident and how it is or how it is now after the accident. And like I recently had like a conversation with my mother because one of our biggest like back and forth I have with my family is that no one celebrate the anniversary of my car accident, which is on November 18th, and I'm left feeling alone. And after having that conversation, my mom said like it's hard for them to remember that day. And I'm like y'all don't realize like and that's the thing, it's like I'm alone in this. Like all I want is like for y'all to see me and to be like a compassion and to have this community for me to actually feel like a part of this family member instead of me feeling like a living ghost that's haunting y'all reality because y'all still haven't coped with the fact that I almost died in an accident back in 2004, but not realizing that I'm still here and y'all still grieving who I used to be and knowing that I'm different instead of being more inclusive and accessible and trying to learn this version of me, which led to a lot. It's just been like a lot ever since like I decided to get my own place in July of 2021 because it was like so hard for me because I literally have to ride on the bus back and forth from the very place where I got hit out every day, and like how much that's a lot for me to like deal with. And I felt so alone, like even though like in things that I need, like people, like if I needed like money or material value, like yes, I received that, but the emotional, mental, and spiritual care that I would like to receive from my family, I didn't get. So yeah, and just going back to like the Wendy Williams situation, and just thinking about that, 1 in 4 people in America have a disability, and disability is the largest marginalized group that anyone can become a member of at any given time. And the way that this society is set up and how it treats people with disability like we are throwaway, like we nothing, even though there's the ADA, the American Disability Act, which has been in place since 1990. I'm only a year younger than the ADA. And here in Chicago and Illinois, there's extra protection, the Illinois Human Rights Act and the Chicago Mutual Code that's supposed to protect my rights as a person with disability. And instead of those people being aware of those laws and those laws being properly enforced, I spend most of my time having to fight, go back and forth with people with like all the things I want peace. I want a life of ease. Like I don't want to have to like fight, or I don't like conflict for like my reasons. You're gonna find out once I play the video about Aaron Hernandez, because like I know where I can go, and I'm quiet and I present like a lighter side, a more can say a lesser version of myself, because I know if I showcase the full version of who I am, I'd be fighting every day, and who Lord knows where I would be right now. So the next video that I want to play is of Aaron Hernandez. So like I said, like Aaron Hernandez, after his passing, it came out that he had a severe case of CTE, which is chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Yeah, I think I pronounced it right that time, which is another version of traumatic brain injury, which is one of my goals why I want to work with the NFL to highlight the dangers of not like proper protocols or system put into place with protecting these NFL players. And it's kind of like, it's good, yes, it's entertainment, it's fun for us to watch, but it's not talk about how a lot of these NFL veterans are treated after they stop playing for the NFL, and how a lot of time enter homeless and enter to a life of crime. Like that isn't talked about, and how like a lot of these NFL players give so much they body, they mind to the NFL players to love to be treated as a throwaway when they no longer able to perform for the NFL, which is a problem. So we are going to listen to this video and get more in depth about Aaron Hernandez's situation. And I will talk about one of the dark aspects that I have experienced with having traumatic brain injury that's closely related to Aaron Hernandez's situation. Like, yeah.
With so many questions about Hernandez's behavior in his final hours, Cheyenne donated his brain to Boston University to be studied for signs of CTE, or chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
Aaron had the absolute worst CTE, the advanced stages of someone so incredibly young.
Doctors that studied Aaron Hernandez's brain say he had the worst form of CTE than they've ever seen before in anyone at his age. CTE is short for chronic traumatic encephalopathy. It is a disease that affects people who have suffered from multiple concussions and brain injuries. It is very common for football players to develop CTE as they are very prone to concussions. Aaron Hernandez played football all his life, most notably for the New England Patriots. Doctors have stated this would have had a huge impact on his decision-making and judgment, but his brain was not scanned until after he passed away. At that point, it was too late.
First case we've ever seen of that kind of damage in such a young individual.
Back on screen. So, as they said in the video, Aaron has been playing football all his life, and after they did studies on his brain, they concluded that he had one of the worst cases of CTE, which is also another form of traumatic brain injury. Now, I'm a 19-year traumatic brain injury survivor. The right side of my brain was severely damaged, and the part of my brain that was severely damaged was the frontal lobe. And I had other things within my body that was all broken up, like my left collarbone was fractured, my lungs had collapsed, I had a cracked spleen, both my pelvis and tailbone was cracked, and my right leg was fractured. The doctors, the physical therapists, actually, because it was to the point where, like, if they didn't do what they needed to do, I wouldn't have no use of my right leg right now, because it was like literally like straight. I couldn't bend it. So they had to break my leg numerous times in order for me to have use of my right leg right now. So in my situation, in a near-death car accident that I was in, I was coming home from an after-school program at the age of 13. I had to like to cross the street, but someone thought it would be an amazing idea to run the red light. And I flew up in the air, and I flew from 101st to 103rd in Halstead. I was in a coma for 2 months. The doctors thought, like, if I didn't make it the first night, that I wouldn't survive. But if I did, I was supposed to be paralyzed from the neck down. So, like, for me to be doing all that I am right now is like a freaking like miracle. Like, because I know if I didn't take the chances and take the time out to really align my body, I know the state that I would be in right now. So yay me for putting all that hard work and that commitment to realign my body into my rehabilitation. So with the case with Aaron Hernandez, so and the reason why he was in prison, because he committed a crime where he took someone else's life. And like they said in the video, with his case of CTE, there was problems with decision making, which I have challenges with. And another form of diagnosis that I have with my TBI and ADHD is explosive rage disorder, which, like, I'm wondering if Aaron Hernandez also had probably like a severe case of explosive rage disorder. So, like, for me, it's like for a long time, I had to become a shell of myself, because if I didn't, I would be in a place where I wouldn't want to be. I don't look good in orange. I love my freedom. Or I would be 6 feet under, because TBI has put me in a lot of situations that could have ended my life. And so I had to become like a shell of myself, because I couldn't continue to function, because a lot of things was happening that was beyond my control. But because, like, my mother and family, they didn't have the tools and resources to best educate them on how traumatic brain injury affected me. And even when, like, I developed TBI in the early 2000s, Doctors didn't even know what they was doing. I can count that like over 100 times I was admitted to the ER room because it felt like my brain was going to explode outside my head. And they took all types of MRIs and CAT scans. And they said like, oh, nothing's wrong with you. You're free to go home, which is why another reason because something else happened to me, but I don't trust doctors. I can't get with Western medicine because it was up to them. Like I would be a version of myself that wouldn't be able to function and I wouldn't be happy with. So the reason why I'm here is because like holistic practices, medication and nature, trying my best to eat a plant-based diet, which is easier said than done, doing Pilates, and just really connecting with nature. That's why I'm the version of me that you see here today. But like if like I didn't become a shell myself, I would probably end up where Aunt Erin Hernandez is like right now, which like it's very heavy and burdensome for me because I see where I could have been right now. But this is why I'm so thankful for art. Art literally saved my life. Art has helped me rediscover myself as a member of the African diaspora, a woman, and a traumatic brain injury survivor, re-enter into an inaccessible society. And all my years of working in the arts, and even though I had bad experience, it has really helped me gain more brain function. This is why like I'm a huge advocate for art, for like art therapy compared opposed to regular therapy. Like especially for my situation, art therapy is more beneficial for me, for someone in my state, compared to traditional therapy. But like if it wasn't for art, this is why I'm the person who you see before you today. So now I'm going to play the last video of how Wendy, of a snippet of the documentary of how Wendy Williams is currently being exploited through Hollywood media. So yeah. Yeah, so
My real name is Wendy Hunter.
Hunter.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm divorced.
Yes.
He's got no money.
Yeah.
so that clip was like very like painful for me to watch, to see her in that state. And I think so much like even though compared now to from when I first developed my traumatic brain injury, more people are more open talking about mental health, self-care. But I don't think we have really reached a place where we are able to have emotional, mentally, and spiritual mature conversation regarding mental health and well-being and neurodivergency, where it's not like people not putting constant attacks on like one another, where we don't know it's okay for us to disagree because it's over 8 billion people in the world. We're not gonna all agree. And what makes us different is what makes the world go round. And we have different abilities and different experience. And I think that was one of the things what the X-Men was trying to convey with the different mutants, their different powers. And I think that's like a powerful message that like who is it, Stan Lee that created X-Men? I think. But it's hard to see her withering away, and knowing that there are tools and resources that can be beneficial to Wendy, because like I was in a similar state to Wendy. But that's how powerful the arts is, and how potent art therapy is in connecting with nature. And we don't utilize the healing properties of art and connecting with nature. And I think that needs to be more ingrained within our society. But yet, it's still a long way to go, because we still operate in an inaccessible society where a lot of people fear to be their true, authentic self. But that's another conversation for another time. But after I was listening to a video of like a doctor describing the symptoms or the challenges that come along with frontal lobe dementia, which is forgetting things mid-sentence, not being able to respond or talk. And those are challenges that I've recently been working to overcome. And like, I know people look at me, think like I'm hard to communicate with or to be around, but it's literally like I have the words to say, but they escape me, and it's like a empty void, and I can't find myself, and it's like extremely painful times. So and it really helped me, because I go back and forth with my mom a lot about diagnosis, because my family say I'm always trying to self-diagnose myself. But no, it's me trying to understand the rapid changes going on with my brain, to really understand what's happening to me. Because from my experience, I'm not receiving the information that I need from doctors. Yeah, my family don't have the tools and resources, so I need to understand this for myself, because I'm not willing to continue to live my life as a victim, to continue to be traumatized over and over again, because I know I'm capable of so much, and I have a life mission to fulfill, and I can't fulfill it in this state. So yes, I need to understand it. So me and my mom go back and forth, and I always ask, because like my mom, she work with children that are neurodivergent. So like I feel like when I was going through in the early stage, she did the best she could, and because what she done is the reason why I'm here today. But there was times where she fell short because she didn't have the proper tools or resources. So I go back and forth with her, wondering, like, is autism like my fourth diagnosis, along with the TBI, the ADHD, and explosive rage disorder? And my mom just said, like, you just have TBI. I'm like, no, there's something else. And she tell me, well, go to the doctor. And she know that something would shut me up, because like I do not trust doctors. I do not trust Western medicine. And that would just lead to another argument. But I'm thankful for hearing that doctor describe the challenges that come along with frontal lobe dementia. And especially in my research, I found out that people who sustain a traumatic brain injury, they have higher chances and higher risk of developing dementia later in life. And so like it just like a light bulb went off, and it helped me to better understand like my current state, what like I'm experiencing as like a frontal lobe traumatic brain injury survivor. And now it's important that I touch on this last point, that now Wendy Williams shares the exact same diagnosis as Bruce Willis, which is frontal lobe dementia. But let's be real. Bruce Willis is probably still being offered opportunities in Hollywood, while Wendy Williams is currently being exploited by Hollywood, which is a great example of how neurodivergent Black women pain is being silenced due to medical racism and exploitation within Hollywood media, which is why I'm so passionate about pioneering the world's first social media production company to provide economic and exposure opportunities for neurodivergent Black women, and to also provide them with the tools and resources to help them live a more comfortable and successful life. And I invite you to be a part of Black Girls Fire's Cosmic Revolution by either becoming a DeWa Patreon member or purchasing products in my DeWa Patreon store, or purchasing your Luxy Chaos merch today. And I see you on the other side, the cosmic side that is. And remember to be kind and gentle to yourself. And yes, in that order. Peace out, beautiful people.